before the game that it's not going to be as easy as people think, because they've got a very potent attack in Ditejane, Mahlambi, Velase and Maduna creeping in from an 8 or a 10 position. You've got your work cut out. So we played against a team that I rate very highly, maybe higher than the teams that might be predominant in your minds. I think they are a very solid team offensively. They do have their own defensive frailties, obviously. So we knew if we can take care of their offensive play, we will be able to win the game, because we also trust in our conditioning. We also trust in our passing game. We also trust in our athleticism in general. And I think we started the game not bad, but their build-up changed a little bit from what they normally do, because normally they build up with Mbunjana alone, and we had planned for Mbunjana alone, but then they brought Maduna closer. From time to time, Velase would come closer, and it gave them a little bit of a numerical superiority in some areas. Then we had to change the strategy a little bit second half. And I think second half we showed very early that we wanted to take the game, and we created better chances, a little bit unlucky with Squishy hitting the crossbar. But I think we started to show signs that we are getting more and more dominant into the game. And they also showed signs of being a little bit tired at that time. And I even knew that extra time might be the best option, because you don't want to open too much, because they might catch you on a counter and the game is finished. So fortunately we got into extra time, and I knew that our first half in the extra time might be stronger for them, because of the players that I had introduced into the team, because at that time we wanted to put a little bit more fire. That's why we reserved 2 substitutions till the death, and unfortunately when we got moments to use them, the only unfortunate one was the Komara one, because I still wanted to bring Stole, because I thought we needed dribblers, we needed people that could force situations in the final third, because of the imbalances that I was looking at from their central defenders and their fullbacks. I could see that Sibande was getting tired. I could see that Fisher was getting tired. So I wanted to bring in wingers that would really add more dribbles to create a lot of set pieces in and around their box if we are not penetrating, because Jerome was going to give us that. And Jobe was in the periphery, because Ndlovu was a bit tired. So it was a game that, with all due respect and humility, I think we played against a very good team, and we must give credit to their work.
Thank you.
Coach Manqoba, congratulations on your win. I know you are in the semi-final now. It's not something new to you, but there is something new to some of your players that have been golden arrows, and there is something new to other supporters who started supporting golden arrows. What will be your motivational factor going to the next game on the semi-final, regardless who are you going to play with?
No, man, I never want to play the occasion. I always focus on a football match, and I've brought that culture in the group, that be it it's a friendly match, be it it's an official match, be it it's a cup match or what, we've got our own principles, we've got our own playing concept that I always want to polish, and maybe try in our microcycles to focus on that particular opponent, and how can we use our way to get over the opponents. And if you remember the first time I won the MTN 8 with I was facing the same issue myself as a coach of not having the experience, and the players may not have the experience as well, and all the players probably at that time also did not have the experience to play a cup final or to go that far in a competition. But what I said was, and then, because everybody was sure that we can't make it because we're playing against a team that was predominantly strong in cup matches. All I said is that I also did not repeat matric. So, and I did not need experience to pass matric, and I only did matric once. So in life, when you come across these moments, you must always want to conquer, even when you are not experienced. We are all not even experienced with our marriages, but we are there, you know. So, and we have to find a way to make it work. So that's all I can tell you. I know for a fact that players might have the nerves and all that, but the culture that I'm trying to present to them is that there is no important match. There is no important match, and they must just focus on each game as it comes and apply the tools that we give them for that particular match, because we do a lot of work on the opposition. We do a lot of work on how we want to polish our game. And my analyst, that young boy, is working very hard. And he understands what I want. He has worked with me at Sundowns. He understands exactly what I want. And he's a young boy. I don't even think he's 20 yet. But believe me, he's very good. And he understands that he has to be a custodian of our playing concept, and also make sure that we understand what the opponents are bringing. Obviously, myself and the coaches must also bring what we think we see in these matches. And that always helps us, because even when we are going to play friendly, we still do our analysis of the opposition if it's a team that has got some video footage, because I just want them to get into the culture of knowing what they are going to be facing.
Qeqeshe ngibingelele ikhala le-7 qeqeshe ngokuthi uphinde ungene kwe-semi-final ikhala knockout. Mhlawumbe uqeqeshe ufollow up ubuhlungu umbuzo i-project okuyona esiyabona ukuthi isile-10 ezenzayo, and mhlawumbe ungena kule stage sokusona lesi semi-final nokuthi mhlawumbe siyapredicta ukuthi kwenzeka mhlawumbe uyiwini. Uyoyenzelana liqembu labafana nosikushi abancane, sibonile la uqhama khona bewinindele hlezi kuneningi imali ukuthi kufanele wine. Mhlawumbe usichazela nje ukuthi ukuwina kwendebe noma ukuphumelela kweproject wenzelani umdlali osemncane ukuthi akwazi ukuthi aphumelele.
That is always a challenge in football. I must be honest, and I think your question probably comes from what happened after 2009, because after 2009 sometimes we move the goalposts. We start thinking we deserve more than what we are getting, and we start looking at football differently. Look at Ranieri at Leicester. He won the championship, and nobody ever thought Leicester can win the championship in England. But immediately after that, he lost his job. Why? Because now the team starts to think they are at a level of the big boys, and you must tread very carefully, because that success, those Molanyana successes or milestones, might be very dangerous if we are not clear about what we are trying to build. But fortunately, the experience of what happened in the past, we are still fully aware, myself and the chairlady, and the relationship has always been very good, and she understands what I'm trying to do. I understand what I'm trying to do, and the responsibility is stronger probably on my side to keep this thing intact, because she's not even around a lot. The team is always left with me to try and take care of everything that has to take place within the team. I work with very energetic and enthusiastic people that understand what we are trying to do, because we've got our principles in everything we do on a daily basis. But I must also say, for me, younger boys like Squish must also fancy opportunities to go out of of the club if they are doing well, going into other countries if they get an opportunity, because my role and the stature of the club, this club should be able to sell players. And in my first tenure when I was here, I was probably averaging around 3-4 players per season that we were selling to keep the club afloat and to be a little bit aggressive even in the market sometimes. The boss lady knows we can't keep players when other better opportunities are coming up. We will have to do that, but that's why we are working very closely with the DDC. KG is working there because it's important to have a clear pipeline for these players to be able to come in and focus more on what we think is the controllables, because there are things that we cannot control.
Coach, congratulations on the big series. Obviously, league games can be different from World Cup games, and with the arrows coming on the back of that loss of consistency on Wednesday, just how important was it for you and your troops to get positive results tonight, just for the sake of consistency and obviously trying to chase that goal for the season?
Like I said, man, before, I focus on each match as it comes, and I've created that culture within the team that even the match that you have played, you don't get carried away and be confused by the results of the match. When we do the review, we must see whether we deserved to lose or whether we deserve to win. And when we do the review, it always brings a little bit of energy, because when you lose a match, you always think it's all doom and gloom. But when you do the review and you start realizing, no man, this match we could have won it, and probably with more than the goals that we scored, probably we could have scored double. And then players start to regain confidence in knowing that the process is intact. And the game against Ellis was just one of those unfortunate games where we created some of the best chances, and we scored, goals that I would have loved that we score one of those in every match, just one, not score 3 in one match, because all those goals were high-level goals. Unbelievable tactical awareness from the boys, unbelievable technical application, unbelievable precision in those moments. But you are right. When you don't win football matches, as a coach, you are expected to show a positive face and believe that the process is intact, not to be shaken by the results. Because for me, the bigger picture is, how is this team going to look like after 15 matches in the league? And that is my biggest assignment as a coach, to look and be able to compare apples with apples and see where we have improved and where we still have to work very hard on, and be able to inject a little bit of energy in areas that I feel when we do that halfway report, then we are able to say, no, maybe we need some additions, maybe we need some deductions, because it's important to be on the right track with what we are doing. But the positive thing is that the response I'm getting from these boys, believe me, it's unbelievable. They are working very hard.
Coach, maybe just a short one from me. Congratulations on the win, number one. But also, Usulu Simbone for a brief time today. Is there any reason why his appearance was that short today?
Yeah, man, I think maybe I also need to apologize to him, but I've already done that because I speak to my players, and he's one of my best boys. And I could see the game, the direction that the game was taking. And I was a little bit worried that they are now going the direction of taller players, and the game might now go to long balls, corner kicks, set pieces, crosses into the box, and we are a fairly short team. So the decision to bring Kobedi was not necessarily influenced by how Sulu played. Obviously, he was not at his best, but you could expect that with more minutes, he would still improve and help us. But I had to speak to him and make him understand that this is what I foresee. And the good thing is when I see these players coming back to me after the game and saying, hey coach, you were right. Maybe if we did not take this direction, we might have had a problem. And the clarity of what we wanted to achieve, both in the game and also in those moments in the extra time when we made a lot of changes and they started bringing new fresh fullbacks in the place of those that were tired, and they've got that mountain in the box, and we are saying, how do we minimize the supply to the box than hoping to deal with it when you know you've got defenders that may not be as tall. And then our triangulation in the wide channels probably helped us to deal with those situations better.
Coach, as a bit of a semi-final coach, when you talk about having a young side, do you think, playing a game of that consequence as a semi-final, do you think it will quickly mature your player that, you know what, now we are almost there? Can, in hindsight, you can quickly help in some way that, they can grow in what you want?
The way I look at it, maybe the way I've always looked at it, there are games of magnitude that you play for that. You play to build the character of the players. And if you notice, I hardly introduce young players in small matches. I introduce young players against Chiefs, against Sundowns, against Sekhukhune, against Pirates, because those for me are the moments where if a player has played against Pirates or Sundowns or Chiefs or all these big teams, then the player starts to believe that, hi man, we have fought with these people and they never troubled us. So anybody else is somebody we can beat. And we have already played such kind of matches, and these youngsters have shown the quality that they have. And already we've got Poison in the under 17 national team that is going to the World Cup as a result of the games that we have given him, and now he starts to believe. And somebody else would have said, but why do you let the boy go when now you need him? Because we really need him, and he's a very big option for us. But for me, the stage, the World Cup, is also going to help us in his development. He's no longer going to look at himself as a youngster. He's going to start thinking, if I can go to that World Cup, then I must show. Maybe Bafana must start looking as well. And it's what I would like to see from most of these youngsters, because the semi-final for me is another match. Because the semi-final, you are not guaranteed to play your so-called big team. You can play anyone. But if you have had a chance to play against Chiefs and Poison gets his first debut in the PSL, you go to teams like Sekhukhune, you go to teams like Sundowns, then this boy starts to say, if I could make it against those ones, then I should be able to make it in any other game. And I think we are fortunate that we have played such matches so early in the season, and now nobody is going to say, hey, how are we going to play against this team? Because they have played these teams, and it's up to them now to show what they can do going forward. And it's something that I've always done with younger players.
Congrats on the win, coach. Just a quick one from me. Your thoughts on Tagasen? I think seemingly has taken that number one spot. I think 2 clean sheets from 6 games from the line. Just your thoughts on his department so far.
I must say he has done very well, particularly in the games that maybe the Sekhukhune first match, he was very good, though unfortunately we conceded in the latter stages. Sundowns, he was good. Orbit, he was good. But I want to tell you, the competition in that sport is very hard. And any slip up, it's a problem. Because you've got Tolani, who was our best goalkeeper. till he got a suspension. He did not falter, he did not do anything wrong, and in fact he's due another opportunity because he has done well, he has never made a mistake, and he gave us strength as a team, and we started looking like we can get somewhere with Kolani. Then you have Mahova, who is an international goalkeeper. He wants his place back, and he's doing exceptionally well. And we've got Sanele, whom, in my opinion, technically probably is better than all of them, but maybe does not have the size that they have. But believe me, organizationally and technically, he is unbelievable. And if you can watch him, maybe you will also get confused. So I've got 4 goalkeepers that all of them, I think, are capable to take that first spot. I'm excited with Taka. His physical profile is very good, but he knows. If you speak to him, he will tell you, I still have a lot of work to do.
Coach, with the feeling, a caller like a fan, let's see. Once one we semi-final, most definitely sure. Manqoba and based on your previous record with the same team, Lapa 10-8. And what are you saying about that? And winning was really, we have 2 teams from the same province who have made it to the semi-finals. I'm sure it says something about the standard of football in the same province.
It's a tough question. But first, let me start with the second one. I think it's very positive to have 2 teams in the province in the semi-final, and I watched the game of Richards Bay. I must say they really did well. It looked dead and buried up until probably the 83rd minute, and from there they completely took the control of the game. And I think maybe there were some challenges with Durban City after the changes they made, and the game favoured Richards Bay. But truly speaking, the game was almost done and dusted. And for Richards Bay, the goals they scored, leave the equalizer, it was a good goal, but it was a scrappy goal. But the other 2 goals were exceptionally good, and I was even surprised with, is it Mahala? I was even surprised with how he waited and timed the moment, because in South Africa that pass, the player that passed that ball and the run, those 2 things are very difficult in this country. And when I saw him intentionally waiting for that moment and the pass being so precise and well weighed, I said this is the level that you should be proud of as the province, because the second goal was also as good, but that goal for me will always stand out because there is a lot of technical application that was needed, and there was a lot of tactical awareness that was needed, and they were all in sync. And for me, I'm very happy for them to be in the semi-final, and I believe they played very good football. As soon as they equalized, from there the game became theirs. The perception of the semi-final, and I do not want to go to that because I was humbled last season. I played against Mngqithi in the final, and the season before we had lost against TS Galaxy in the first round of the competition. Then I took the team to the final of the competition and got humbled in a game that we dominated from start to finish, but unfortunately we did not win it. And it was my first maybe final as a coach that I did not win. And that for me says every game is as important. But I've got that Carling Black Label silver medal in my bag there. I would want to change it because it was very unfortunate that we did not win that match. So I decided to keep it. I normally don't keep the silver medal because I said I have not won the Carling. I've won every other trophy in the country, but I've not won the Carling Black Label. So I said I will one day want to change this and make it gold so that I can give away my silver medal. It's a pity that I did not bring it here. It's here.
Thank you so much. What a statement.